It was a point apiece for Liverpool and Manchester City. Simon, you said it would be. You didn't mind sitting on the fence on Friday, and you were right to do so. As the curtain comes down on the Klopp versus Pep Premier League story. Post-match, they had a bit to say. Klopp first.
We are still there. We are kind of the annoying guy we cannot get rid of. And that's actually the idea. And then we will see. How I said, there's no guarantee today. If we win today, then we are first in the table. That would feel for the moment better for the situation. No difference. We have to win football games. We play Tottenham. I saw them today at Aston Villa. You think, okay, they obviously have an idea as well and a plan. So we have so many games to play, but you cannot be champion on match in this league on match day, whatever we are now.
Arsenal last year came back, and we stayed for a long time because it's a young team with an exceptional manager. So yeah, still 11 or 12 games to play left. I don't know, 11, 10? 10 games, 30 points to play, 1 point difference. So important is still we are there. After where we come from last previous season, still we are there.
10 actually, Pep. Yeah, 10 games to go. Graeme, is this a title race going right down to the very wire? If it is, who holds the key?
I think it's impossible to say. I think the three of them, right now as we speak, have an equal chance of winning it. I think there's bound to, if not all of them, will slip up somewhere. And that is the beauty of our league. You know, our league is so competitive. Are you ever really surprised if a big team loses to a small team today? I mean, yeah, it's a bit of an upset, but it's not a major surprise. And that is the nature of our football. And that's why our league is by far the best league out there. Yeah. I mean, yesterday's game, even Villa and Spurs, well, the Villa supporters won't be happy about it, but that was a great game. And the game at Anfield was a super game. It doesn't get any better than that. You know, people passing accurately, doing it under pressure, great tempo to the game, people missing chances, which can always happen. Incidents. It was just a great watch, a great spectacle.
Are you going to be brave, or am I pushing you needlessly?
No.
But on Monday, March the 11th, you're going to tell me who the outright winner's going to be?
No. I come back to never be surprised at the surprises in football. You know, there's going to be some slip-ups that you wouldn't expect. There's no way you can look and say, we'll win that one. That's going to be more difficult, but we'll win that. We could possibly draw that. It doesn't work like that. And that's why the oldest saying of football is trotted out at this time of year. One game at a time. That's all you can focus on.
Yeah. I mean, Sammy, when you look at it, on top, in control, wasted chances, can Liverpool look back in this one as the one that got away?
If you want to characterise it that way, first of all, I thought Graeme was absolutely right. I thought it was a brilliant game of football. I thought it was two teams that have a lot of respect for one another, but were determined to try and win a game from the first minute to the last. I thought the tempo, the style, the balance of the game, the poise and the competency of both teams is something to behold. But I thought it would be a draw. I thought they'd cancel one another. That's why I picked a 1-1 draw. So, you know, I wasn't surprised by the result. I think, you know, my personal belief is if Arsenal go to Man City and beat Man City at the Etihad, I think they'll win the league. But that's a big if. Yeah. Because Arsenal now have it in their hands again. It's their destiny. It's for theirs to decide. Yeah. They can determine their own outcomes. Now, of course, if they win all their games, they'll win the league.
Liverpool could do the same, couldn't they? Just have to score a lot more goals.
Sure, but notwithstanding it, Arsenal are scoring goals for fun. Well, they got 7 goals difference between the two sides. It's a few goals to make up. It's perfectly achievable. But again, I make the point that I think Arsenal, if they beat Man City, I think they'll win the league. But I think it's a massive if.
This is how our league should be.
Exactly right.
This is exactly how it should be.
The only worry, if you can have a worry about Liverpool, Graeme, is despite this Anfield loving that seems to go on, Liverpool have now failed to beat City, Arsenal and Manchester United at home this season.
Well, you do that, you don't win the league. Because it's not just the 3 points you gain, it's the damage you do to your nearest rival. Why'd you say Anfield loving? It's a hard place to dig a result out. And you're saying that, you know, they didn't beat those 3 teams. When was the last time a team won there?
We'll check it right now.
It'd be a long time. It's always been a hard place. Even before I played for Liverpool and I went there with Middlesbrough, it was a super difficult place to get a result. Just the way the stadium is, the way the supporters are. It's a super difficult place to dig out a result.
But that might cost them in the end, mightn't it?
Yeah, but listen, you look over your season and it's very easy to look back and say, we lost it there. Yeah. And this is why, again, and it's the way I was educated. When I was a player there, winning the European Cup is it's a great night out and generally one of the most glamorous cities in Europe. In my case, it was London, Paris and Rome. the song there, isn't it? London Arsenal.
You can't do better than that.
You know, the glamour of that, the tension of that on the night. But they always, winning the league was a priority. At the start of the season, winning the league, they felt it said more about you as an individual and collectively. They thought winning the league, you've managed the down periods in the season, whether it be injury or loss of form.
Yeah.
And you managed that, so you came out on top, and they felt that said a lot more about you than just winning a cup.
City beat Liverpool in 2021. That was the last time at Anfield that Liverpool have lost. Simon.
So it's a comeback.
Oh, it's a long
super
time,
difficult
isn't
place
it?
to get a
it's a fortress.
result.
No, you're dead right. The debate has been raging. Down on Talk TV, they were talking about it. In Chris Evans' breakfast show, they're talking about it. Penalty or no penalty? The last-minute penalty called Doku on McAllister. Penalty or no penalty?
I'm in the camp that when I watched it, my first reaction was, I don't think that's a penalty. And then when you watch it more and you have the benefit of watching it from a slower perspective and watching replays, you start to move into the territory of suggesting that there's a distinct possibility that you wouldn't have been surprised if VAR had given a penalty. I think you can make an argument for either one, and that's why I'm not surprised it sits in the middle, and no one is 100% clear. I mean, there was mixed reactions, wasn't there, in the Sky commentary team. I was when I watched the game, I thought, I cannot see them giving a penalty at this moment, at this time in the game. Not that should make any difference, because it should be a penalty if it's a penalty and not if it's not. But I think it was a real 50-50 one.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost refreshing, Graeme, to see something like this not decided by VAR. VAR looked at it but didn't get involved. Did you think it was a penalty?
No, at the time, I thought, no, it's not a penalty. He's trying to pull away from it. And I've watched it in the last 10 minutes, just before we came on here. I watched it several times. I'm just repeating what Simon said. When you look at it, when it's slowed down and from the different angles, it is endangering an opponent in a box.
Yeah.
So
it's an unfortunate characterisation, though, Jim, that we must try to lose, which is determined by VAR. It's determined by a refereeing support mechanism, which we've cried out for in suggestion that referees need to make better decisions. And if it was deemed to be a penalty, it would be determined by an official making a judgment call, not some mythical big brother watching down from the sky determining that ultimately we're here to influence the way football matches are played. It's a decision that VAR was brought in to adjudicate. That's what it was brought in to do.
Okay.
But you can't sort of. We can't be here without talking about it, because if we get that puts Liverpool very much in the box seat.
Well, that's right.
Going forward.
And they didn't.
No,
get
that's
it.
something they could look to. But I'll come back to it. As a manager, when you're managing a football team, you know, it's very easy to say, well, that's been a difficult decision against us, and we'll get another one. And then you hear people say, well, that evens itself out over the season. It doesn't. Things can go for you and against you. They may even themselves out over your career. Yeah. But it's not over a season.
Well, as we now know, no penalty given, no penalty taken, and no goal scored. As a result of all of that, Arsenal sit top of the Premier League this morning on 64 points on goal difference from Liverpool. Manchester City 1 point behind on 63. 10 games to go. Is it going down to the very wire? If so, who holds the key? For Simon, and I go with him, Manchester City Arsenal at the Etihad after the international break seems pivotal. Whoever wins that, it would seem, will go on and win it. Are we right to think that way? 03717 223344 81089.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.